Hey, what's up, world? It's your girl Petri here, and you're tuned into Love Bay Radio on Highway 6 to Africa. It's your girl Petri here. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Saturday. Unfortunately, we don't have TYB with us this Saturday. You know, he had to go to like a family, something to do with the family right now, So he had a passing in his family. So we definitely want to send out our love and our prayers to TYB and his loved ones right now during this time. But it should go Petri here. So I'm here not by myself. As usual, I have the wonderful Ron Malinga. Ron, what's going on?
Hey, not much. It's interesting. Without TYB today, it will be. And hey, here on the west coast of Canada, some of us are in the beautiful sunshine, and some of us, like me, are in the pouring rain today. So that's the way it goes. Just how it is. So,
Yeah, I
but
know. Life in
everything else
Canada.
is going fine. Yeah, off on a holiday for a few days coming up, so that'll be good.
Okay, that sounds
Huh?
good. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest and the break.
Oh, sure. It'll be nice to get away. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. I'll get into that in the moment, but I want to introduce Facile because we do have another person on the show. And if all of you guys have listened in before, Facile is a phenomenal artist. So he's going to be joining us as a guest host, fill in for TYB. So Facile, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Very well. It's Hamathan season over here, so we all persevere in Xmas and can't wait to celebrate.
Yeah, most definitely. I can't even believe Christmas has come already. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you're looking forward to the Christmas season? Both you and Ron, are you guys looking forward to the Christmas time?
Ron, I looking forward to an Xmas song.
Christmas song. Yeah. Well, I tell you, in my house, we make it so that we don't play Christmas music until December 1st. So
Wow.
we're 1 day away.
Yeah, which is
Okay.
tomorrow. Yeah.
So
You getting
yeah,
prepared,
Christmas.
eh?
What's that? Sorry.
You getting prepared. You have all your
Oh
songs
yeah.
lined up.
No, not yet. Some of them I get tired of, but because you've heard them so many times. So
Hmm. But
everybody
when
seems
else?
to do. Yes, everybody seems to do a Christmas album.
I know, but you know what? It's like, when else are you gonna hear these songs? It's like we don't play Christmas music any other time of the year, and it's like, you know, I don't
Yeah.
mind hearing like certain Christmas songs. Like I grew up hearing like traditional Christmas songs, but on a reggae beat. So I grew up
Okay.
listening to reggae Christmas songs, reggae
Okay.
Christmas carols. So
Yeah.
when it comes to Christmas time, I keep that tradition going on in my house, put that music on. You might sort of jam into the reggae version of Jingle Bells, you know what I mean? So it's good times. Yeah.
Hmm.
What about you,
Yeah.
Fasia? Like, what kind of Christmas? You have any Christmas traditions or Christmassy things that you
Uh,
do?
Christmas traditions over here is just basically spending time with family. Like eating real good food and spending time with family. That's it. Because once that season is over, everybody gets pretty busy, and it's that season when you could steal time to make a trip. You can't really say no to invites to see family, so it's all about family for me. That's the tradition, that's the culture. Spending time with family. Of course, there'll be certain forms of entertainment, music, a couple festivals, and all that, but it's just spreading love and remembering where you come from. That's the time you tap into your root and just appreciate life for 12 months gone so far, gone so well, and hoping the new year brings peace and joy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I love that. It's definitely a great way to end the year and to begin the new year, by setting those goals and those milestones. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
most
just like
definitely.
some of us in New Year's Eve. That's that one time of the year where we're going. Okay, I know what we're doing tonight. Gonna be playing tonight because
Okay.
the New Year's parties are happening then too. So yeah, it's just one of those things where New Year's Eve is sort of okay. I know where I am, standing on stage tonight. So
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
lovely.
Mm-hmm. I think there's so many different ways that people celebrate and bring in the new year. Like honestly, I used to go to a lot of parties, but I find over the past couple of years, I kind of just keep it low key, you know, and I kind of set my year, you know, just I have my goals, I write down my goals, you know, like I just meditate on the next 365 days to come, you know, and like what I plan to
Nice.
accomplish, focus on my vision, and just rest and prepare for that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, so yeah, I think you can celebrate it in many different ways, in many different seasons of your life, you know?
Whatever works for you.
Yeah, exactly. I do definitely want to shout all of our USA, our American listeners right now, because I know they're celebrating Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? So definitely
Yeah.
shout out to them. You know,
Hmm.
so Thanksgiving is definitely Thanksgiving is also something, a time for you just to kind of consider and be thankful. You know, pretty much along the lines of what you were talking about, Facile. You know, in relation to thankful for your family, thankful for life, just thankful for your blessings. You know, like, what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about Thanksgiving in general?
Uh,
Uh,
okay, Ron, you go. Because
well,
thank.
we in Canada have it a few or 3 weeks earlier
Mm-hmm.
than this. Of course, we know about the American Thanksgiving as well. I'm glad you brought it up. And it's that time where we all know about, or most of us know about Black Friday,
That
which which
caught
I
me
don't
off
know
guard the
about.
mall today. I was like, why is it so busy?
Well, I don't know if I get is that many emails every day, email after email selling this and that and everything. So I don't know if that's the same for you, Facil. If you have any Black Friday or anything of the likes there.
Yeah, yeah. Black Friday is a big deal over here, but Thanksgiving is not celebrated over here. So
Hmm.
I guess what people that benefit a lot from this season are business people and online vendors. It's that time to like show love to prospective new clients and old clients. An opportunity to give out discounts and all that. So that's it. Black Friday it's a big deal here, but Thanksgiving, nah, we don't. Thanksgiving over here is Thanksgiving is could be any Sunday you feel like going to church to thank God for your new whip, your new car, uh, your wife, or or your Grammy award, or a new house. Yeah, that's Thanksgiving. It could be any Sunday. It could be every Sunday. But a fixed Thanksgiving like it is in the States, nah, we don't have that over here.
Yeah. Same in England too. Like in the UK, we don't really celebrate like Thanksgiving. Like what we celebrate around this time is actually was the beginning of the month. We celebrate bonfire night. So I'm not sure
Oh,
if many of you are familiar with bonfire night. Are you familiar?
sounds
I know that's the thing. Like a lot of things are known about England, and some things are not really known about England. And it's like growing up, it's like you just celebrate as part of the culture, you know. But then when you grow old, you really start to dissect it and think, you know. But pretty much, let me see if I can recall, you know, so much of the tradition. But it's pretty much about a gentleman by the name of Guy Fawkes, who, you know, like I can't remember which century, maybe the 17th or 18th century, he tried to blow up Parliament, you know. So he concocted this huge plan, you know, and you know, he had barrels of gunpowder underneath Parliament, you know, and just as he was about to do it, they caught him, you know, and then when they caught him, you know, I think I'm not sure if they hung him or they burnt him or the stake or something of that nature. They did something of some nature. It was a very nice ending, but every year on November 5th, because that was when he tried to vote parliament, we have a huge bonfire, you know? And then traditionally you'd make a Guy Fawkes out of like a straw man, you know, and like the older folk, like maybe my grandparents' generation, my parents' generation, they would make a Guy Fawkes and they'd wheel him around in a wheelbarrow and they'd knock on doors and say, can I get a penny for the guy? You know? So that was a tradition. And then afterwards they would have a bonfire and then yeah, that's where Guy Fawkes would end up, the strong man. You know, and they would have fireworks and toffee apples. You know what I mean? So that's a little bit like English culture and tradition there in November. You know, so
So are you celebrating a dead guy then? Is that what it is, or what?
honestly,
It's just
that's
that the
what,
fact that or that the fact that he died.
honestly, when you're older, you're like, oh, what a tradition. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, what it
You know,
can
but
be.
I do like the bonfire and I do like the fireworks. It kind of is very similar to May 24, you know, just minus the bonfire and the fireworks and poor guy. But you know, it's when we come together and we just celebrate fireworks. Beautiful displays, by the way. You know,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, jumping
Yeah.
into what you mentioned earlier, Facile, you know, around this time, you know, I know we have the Grammy nominations. You know, we've actually got on the list of Grammy nominations, so it's definitely exciting. You know, some big names have been called up. You know, I know it's definitely they've been saying this is the year of the women. You know what I mean? So just like last year, I think it was 7 out of the 8 for best album and were nominated. And this year, I think it's around six of
Wow.
them. You know, so it definitely is the year of the women. You know, I know we've definitely had many conversations on this show about the impact. You know, how women navigate in the music industry. You know, I mean, in the mainstream, you know, there's definitely more male artists than female
Yeah.
artists. Me being a female artist, you know, I know, and you also, Facile, and you, Ron, also being in the industry, we've witnessed this. You know, but would you both say that there's a shift happening? You know, because yesterday, I mean, last year we're surprised at how many women were nominated for that category. You know, and just in general, and now we're seeing a repeat of that. What do you both? What's both of your takes on that? Ron?
Okay.
Uh, I would say for me, it's no surprise again. As you said, Petra, it's 7 out of 8 last year. It's 6 out of 8. I was just looking up. I want to find the this year's nominees. Uh, it doesn't surprise me. I look on the Instagram, look on social media, and most of the time I'm seeing 80%, maybe 60 to 80% women who are in the industry as opposed to men. I don't know why.
Mm.
Maybe that's I don't know if that's really what's happening or not. This is what I see on my social media. As to why, uh, I would I don't even want to guess male and female. Why is there a difference? I'd say um, I wish I could tell you why it's happening. What I can tell you that's happening is there's less bands. That is a fact for sure. There's more single artists out there for numerous reasons, and we can get into this, but it's more individuals than it is groups like it used to be more of before. It used to be bands and groups before, whereas now it's single artists. I bet you, I wouldn't even be surprised if it's 90% single artists as opposed to groups. Um, but there's lots of reasons for that. Hey, so what do you think about this?
Yeah, so I'll speak for Africa or Nigeria since that's where I'm from, and
Mm-hmm.
it might be similar dynamics with uh other places, but like the Western world, it might be similar dynamics. I'm not so sure, but the thing is, I would say we've got less females as regards population, less female artists in the industry. So it's more populated with male artists, and if it gets to a point that you begin to hear the name of a female artist, it means she has to do she has to be as good as the male artist to even be heard. So big ups to the female artists doing really good. There aren't many of them, the popular names, but I would say they've worked really hard and they're really talented to get to the point where we could hear their names and they could match them alongside the numerous male artists we have. So I would say it might remain the same as regards the population. We might not have so many female artists coming out, but the thing is, music for one, we would always say the females would have better vocals than guys, lovely voice and all that, lovely tone, lovely reading. But there's a whole lot to music aside the vocals. But I just think the names we hear today in the industry, if we're talking about Nigeria or Africa, it's females that have done really good for themselves and can, stand on similar stages, with the men. So big ups to the female artists, big ups to Thames, Ira Star, and Tyler. Those names I can mention for now. I don't think I know any other ones. My bad. It's
What about
three T's.
Is
There's
it
Tiwa.
Arya Star?
Yeah, I mentioned Ira Star, but it's three popular T's: Tiwa Savage, Tyler,
Itiwa,
and Thames.
but
Yeah,
there's so many more, you know,
there
so many
is. There
unnamed
really.
that not given the recognition. Always got to
Mhm.
shout out my girl Kathy
Okay,
Matete, you
okay,
know, definitely loving her music.
okay, yeah.
Love artists, you
And
know.
shout out to Petra too.
Thank you very much. Enough love. Thank you. I
My
receive
bad.
it.
I was focused on the T's. When it comes to the P's, there's Petra at the top.
Thank you. I receive it. I receive it.
Yeah.
Keep it, you know, definitely shout out to the women. I wanted to ask you both a question, you know, because looking at it from a different standpoint, right? Thank you for mentioning what you mentioned, and shout out to all
Yeah.
the women in music and the men as well, you know, like together, you know, like we don't do it alone, you know what I'm saying? Like we
Sure,
have to be in
sure.
partnership. You know, I had a question because the fact that the fact that more women are being recognized by the Grammys, you know, I don't know if it's necessarily a representation of the industry right now as a whole, you know. I mean, although we know there's a lot more males in the industry than women, you know, the fact that women are being pushed to the foreground, would you say it's more of a demand from the market in a way? You're looking at it from that perspective. Is it more that women women want to see more women win as opposed to traditionally where I felt that there was more, you know, it was still more male dominated and women were more focusing on artists, like, you know, like women used to lust after a James Brown or lust after an Elvis Presley, you know? And I mean, although there are some notable female artists, like I love the greats, you know what I mean? I love Diana Ross and the Supremes and, you know, Billie Holiday, Sarah Vaughan, I love jazz, like, you know? But it's like the
Hmm.
fact that more women are being pushed to the foreground. Do you think it's more the fact that there's a shift in how things are in society nowadays? Because I feel like with women, they want to see a representation of themselves up there. And I can speak, for example, like for myself in relation to like say R&B, you know, like I find like the certain artists that I gravitate towards. I love me like a Summer Walker and I love me a Scissor, you know. And like Scissor, I have to big up my girl Scissor because she got a lot of
Sure.
nominations this year. Like she's definitely doing her thing. I love her sound. I feel like she's definitely taken R&B and she's put her own flair in it. Like for me, when I hear a Scissor song, I know it's Scissor, you know. So, and I feel like her style, like, and even like, say, for example, a Summer Walker, I feel it's the same thing. Like, I love me a Summer Walker. I love her style and her sound. And the fact that her sound could be definitely, um, you know, like the youth can relate to it, but also, you know, other ages can like relate to that. You know, other
Hmm.
dynamics relate to that.
Hmm.
What do you guys think about that in relation to like,
Yeah.
Before Ron goes, Ron doesn't like Caesar.
What? What? What are you saying? Why are you saying that? I don't.
I
you
told
got
Oh.
I
outed,
told
Ron?
Ron
You
I,
got
I
outed.
told
That's my
Ron
girl. I love her music.
I spoke to Ron about Caesar. I think I sent him that song, and I don't know. It just felt really good, but I I can't really remember what his response was. It's not like he doesn't like her music, but you know, I think at that time we were gravitating towards um music being very rich, not music being you know, too hippie or too sexy as the reason it would sell. I don't know if you
Yeah.
understand. But
Yeah.
that's a point. That's a point as well. Sorry, I have to go on. You know, you were talking about a shift in demand or a shift in dynamics or whatever. The thing is, men would want to see more women on TV, on here, listen to them over the radio or on digital platforms. Women would also want to support women. So the thing is, women might have more to bring to the industry than just guys because guys are getting really lazy. You know, I think
Hmm.
women, yeah, guys are getting lazy. Guys wouldn't want to hit the gym these days. Guys will hit the studio more than they hit the gym. You know, I remember early 90s, I would say, early 90s, we had hip hop being a very popular popular genre because the males in hip hop came with a certain force, a certain authority. You had to look a certain way. You had to
Mhm.
look. either like a boss or like a gangster or like a fighter, like a leader, that kind of thing. So there was so much work being put in, not just work in the studio, the body. So when you shoot music videos, people appreciate you for not just how you look, but the lyrics gravitate with how you look.
Yeah.
You're talking about life experiences and you look like you've experienced that. But now we've got lazy ass pot bellied kids, singing digital music up every now and then, and their lyrics would definitely still gravitate to how they look because it's messed up lyrics. Sorry to say, but all the same, women are doing their best to look really good. Make sure that body is banging, and come with real sexy vocals, experiences. Share all that, and I think women have a lot more to bring. So it's not like there's a shift. I think both male and female fans and listeners have always expected to see more from women. So if we've not been seeing more from women, then they've not been doing so much. That's the thing. So over to you, Ron.
No, I was going to say what I'm seeing a lot more from women is, unfortunately, as I say to people, I see a lot more skin than I really want to see. And I don't want to say this is a selling feature, but
Caesar.
unfortunately, it is. It is a selling feature. And I'm not sure if the music is really as good as it is if we're using our eyes instead of our ears lots of times. So I would say in all of this that that's not to take anything away from women whatsoever, because I agree that they are coming forefront. I mean, the Grammys are that way, and I agree with Fasil in that we've got a lot more lazier men coming in. Though we still see most of the men in the studio who are producers being men. It's just the artists themselves. Now, I'm not sure if this is because they look better. I would really I would say that's really a shame if that's the reason that that's happening. Because I think, well, what we want to do is listen to music for the joy of its beauty and what it's bringing forth, rather than the men. It's interesting though. More often, I'm trying to find women to be singers than men, just because I find men tend to be a lot more. I don't want to say dominant is the word. It's a weird way. I don't know why it is, but it's just that I'm not seeing the quality or hearing the quality that I used to hear from men. Like Fasil said, and I agree with him completely. For some reason, in the '90s, that was the men were the big deal, but that's falling to the side. And as to why, I don't know. Sometimes I think is the clock, like, spinning or moving? Is it just the pendulum is way over to one side right now and it's going to even out? I don't know. However, I think it's an interesting observation on Fasil's behalf there in terms of how it's going. Um, I don't know. I find that men are easier to get into a fight with or something than women. I don't know if that's it either. It just seems weird. It just they don't seem men seem to be more. And this isn't the case with Fasil because I've worked with Fasil lots. However, it's just different. I don't know. It's different. I, I I wish I had an explanation for it, other than we're seeing way too much body from women that I'm ashamed to say in some ways
Would
that
you would you
it's
like to
needed.
see would you like to see more body from men?
No, I'd say
Well, we might like
neither.
it. We don't have a qualm with it, you know.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
D'Angelo video, Untitled, is forever ingrained
Yeah.
in my brain for the rest of my days. Like,
But look at
I feel
Tyler.
like
Look what Tyler's doing these days. I mean,
but he's wrong.
yeah,
I don't mean to interject. I have a question, right? I mean, I hear what you're saying. I mean, initially, as I said, well, obviously, me listening to Scissor, I'm not, well, for me, everyone's different, right? But I'm listening to Scissor for her music, because
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Again, it depends upon the audience and the listener. Like, why are they gravitating towards the artist? Some
yeah.
people might gravitate towards her because of the way she looks, and another way
Hmm.
she
Okay.
is definitely a selling feature. However, I listen to her music because when I hear some of her experiences, I can relate to those experiences. I love the sound of the music. I love
Yeah.
way she sings certain tones. So that's why I
Hmm.
gravitate towards that aspect. Now,
The
just back
sound.
in, yeah. Sorry, did you want to say something, Fasil?
No, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, but I just wanted to backtrack in relation to what you were saying in relation to how she looks and the fact that a lot of women in the industry now have that sexual look, you know, and that's very dominant now in the industry, you know. And yeah, I do agree with you that it does take away from them as an artist and, you know, like them in a sense. However, I wanted to ask, like, behind the scenes, wouldn't you agree or even like even think that a lot of that is still male influenced, you know, by the record labels, by the managers, by what they say sells, you
No,
know what I mean? So it's like,
no
are they
question
really
about it.
Okay,
dictating
so
that
yeah,
look,
Yeah,
you know, when
absolutely.
so yeah, I just
so
wanted to
so
both takes on that. Yeah, go ahead, Fasil.
but at the end of the day, to me, good music is good music. I gravitate more towards what I hear than what I see.
Oh, I
The
hope
truth
so.
is, I hear a lot more than I see. I hardly watch music videos.
Mm,
I
Me
scroll to
too.
I scroll through Instagram, but I think the sound would get to me before the video gets to me. So if we're talking about Caesar, to be honest, when I first heard Snooze, I sent it to Ron. I know a Grammy song when I hear one. If there's no issue or situation that would relate to racism, that's a Grammy song when I heard that, because Snooze to me, uh, it could bridge between 90s music when we had the golden age of hip hop and
mm,
R&B, and today's music. Now today's music, all the influence from today's music is better production, better sound kits, but Caesar still sounds like 90s hip hop and R&B, and that's
mm,
when we had the golden age of music, to be honest. So I would say she's a great artist. I can't say uh she sells her music with her body, because I got hooked on her music, the audio, the sound before before the music videos.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think good music is good music. At the end of the day, it's how it makes you feel. I think the
Oh,
sound should connect to you even before the video, because many a times the song comes out before the video. So you have to love this song to even expect, to watch a video, And another thing, if you notice, most of her first set of videos, to me, I wouldn't call them sexy. They were a bit laid back. Like she wasn't trying to do she wasn't I wouldn't say they weren't expensive, but they weren't videos that looked like she was aiming towards a Grammy or something. I don't know if you get. I think
True,
it was just her, expressing and telling a story, because
true.
people already love this song. People can relate to this song. So
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
I don't think a lot would change when you make a video. In fact, you could make a video that's too sexy and you even lose your fan base. Yeah, because oh, the body showing off that much might be offensive to most people that might have loved the song first of all. You understand? So I would say there's a
Chloe
balance
Bailey.
there. Yeah,
Yep.
she looks
What
good,
happened with Chloe
nice
Bailey's
body.
career in a
That's a
sense?
plus. All I'm going to say is her body is a plus, whether she
Mhm.
shows it off or not. But her music is good. That's the first thing. I won't take that
Mm-hmm.
from her. Yeah. So I would say other female artists should learn from that. You've got nice body. That's a plus. That should be a plus. But when you go into the studio, what experience are you bringing to the microphone?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yeah, before the body.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Because you know what? When you're in your car and you're driving and listening to music, who I don't care what the video is about. The
Yeah,
video means
because
nothing to me.
because if the video is too sexy, you might have an accident. So
You know, people
Yeah,
exactly. I was
well,
gonna say, who has time to watch a video and drive at the same time? Like, you know.
yeah,
yeah,
that's sad. That's sad driving if you're doing that.
Oh, that's for those Tesla cars, those self-driving Tesla cars. When it's like you just be driven side in the back. You know what I mean? Like, you
yeah,
know.
I
Yeah,
still
yeah,
wouldn't be watching videos. I'd still be I'd have to listen to the music because the music says it. Probably my favorite of all R&B artists, and I said it was the only artist I'd ever quit my job as a music teacher would be to play with Sade. I just think Sade is so. I love what I like about her. Not only her sound, it's her sound is just so unique. I mean, I know bass player Paul Stanley. He's just a great
yeah,
groove. The group has a great groove,
and
but she's so classy as well. And that's what I like about Sade. Her voice is just so smooth. That's what I enjoy about singers like
Smooth.
that.
That's
That's
the
what
word.
I'm listening.
Smooth. Yeah,
Smooth. Yeah.
smooth and evergreen,
It's
evergreen,
Yeah.
just,
and a
Um,
lot of
yeah.
soul. There's a lot of soul.
Yeah. Putting your heart into it,
There's
your
life. Yeah.
soul into it.
It's a lot of soul. And I was gonna say, when I hear a new song, and what comes to mind is, where could I listen to this? So it depends on if I'm on my laptop or on the phone. If I'm on the phone, I would go to Spotify. If I'm on the laptop or TV, I'd go to YouTube. Now the thing is, I heard a song. I heard, say, 10, 20 seconds of a song. It caught my fancy. It caught my attention. Now going to search for that song on YouTube, I'm not going to search with the mindset that it's going to be a video. I want to hear other parts of that song. If it's a video,
Hmm.
fine. But my point is, the 10, 20 seconds caught my attention. So the video is not going to make me feel better, you know. It's the rest of the
Hmm.
song that's going to make me, know if this was a good feeling, or it was a fluke. So that's it. So I think the music should speak first of all before the video does.
Oh yeah, well, for sure. I've seen many songs that I like where the video was terrible or bad, and
Yeah,
that's okay. And to me,
yeah,
that doesn't matter. To me, that's like
yeah,
side stuff. To me, it's like what's going into these ears
yeah.
that matters the most.
Ed Sheeran, for instance, has very basic videos to me. Basic
who?
guitar playing video. Ed Sheeran, to me,
Oh,
he's
Ed
got
Sheeran, yeah,
very basic videos, but videos that tell a story. But you already love the song, so he's not gonna come distract you with a video.
yeah.
That's the
But
thing.
I wanted to say something. Like, I want to backtrack a little bit because, yeah, I hear what you said about Sade. So I have 2 points, right? So I
Yeah,
love Sade. I'm British as well, so I love her music.
Yeah.
But my
She's
thing is,
originally
what is
from
Sade?
Nigeria.
Oh wow, okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, see,
Yeah.
yeah,
She,
Nigerian making trends
hmm
even then, you know what I mean? But they
hmm
promote. She's from England too, right? So it's like I know
Yeah,
her as
that's
a
what
big
she's known for.
artist.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, but my thing is, okay, would a Sade with her style, like her sound is beautiful, it's timeless, but with her style, would it still resonate in today's market, or would she have to like compromise like the rest of these other artists? Number one, and then my other point is, why is it that certain artists, especially in certain genres, are promoted and marketed in one way and have to look a certain way in that particular genre versus other artists? So
Yeah.
yeah, if you
You
both
know,
have like feedback on that.
Yeah, you're right, Petra. That isn't that the question? Would Sade need to do the stuff we see artists doing today in order to make it? Would the music still stand? I think is what you're saying. It's a good
Mm-hmm.
question. I love Alicia Keys as well as when you're talking R&B. Alicia
yeah,
Keys,
yeah.
how can you not like
Mm-hmm.
her? And it's so classy. I mean, it's just she's really good. But will do the younger, let's go, the younger generation, do they have to do more than just have good music to make it?
Mm-hmm.
And that is the big question. And if so, why is that the case?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I've heard some
So
pretty ugly stories that went on in
yeah,
studios from women, and yeah, I shake my head. Go
thing
ahead,
is,
Priscilla.
certain genres would remain what they are. When I mean they remain what they are is, certain genres grow and adapt or tap from other genres to make them sound better. So I've known R&B to constantly merge with hip hop. We had an era where an R&B female singer would, when you hear an R&B song, you hear a first verse, a second verse, you're expecting a rap verse. You're expecting a rapper to come on that because hip hop just made it complete, but it's still R&B in total. So Sade's music resonating to this generation doesn't necessarily have to tap into the influences of today's music. The only challenge would be that, um, kids of this generation, having not heard music from that generation, might find it not difficult, but it might take a bit, to enjoy that music since they've grown up enjoying something else. It might take a bit to understand, why this music sounds this way and why they should love it. But people coming from that era would always tap into this music. My point is, if Sade gets to release a song today and she doesn't necessarily decide to work with producers of today. She wants to stick with producers of way back that are not influenced by today's music. I think it's still going to be great music if she still comes with, the same soul, the same powerful lyrics that touch, that mean a lot to you, that nostalgic feeling when you hear music and all that. So I just feel certain genres of music would have to tap from other genres to seem relevant. But R&B, for one, just like hip hop, hip hop, people might say it might have watered down a lot, but when you hear the beats and all that, it's still hippie. It's still, it's still what you're going to hear in the club. It's still what you're going to hear on the streets and all that. And we've got people doing several forms of hip hop, like drill music in the UK and all that. It's adaptations from here and there, just to make it make sense to today's generation. But it's still what it is. There are elements that would never leave. The street feeling would never leave hip hop. The melody, the emotions would never leave R&B. When it leaves, it's no longer what it is. So for genres to remain what they are, and for artists from way back, to still be relevant today and make sense to kids of today, then I think they should just stay true to what they are. Because, like I said, good music is good music. People, I'm not shocked. Kids from this generation are enjoying Caesar's music. I'm not shocked because I feel if one could introduce them to certain R&B songs from way back, like let's say artists like Sierra, and most of those artists that did do a lot of music with hip hop artists, I think kids of this generation would still love music like that. So I just feel it's best to stay true to your craft and let your genre be what it is at the end of the day. If you have to tap from here and there, just stay true to your craft. That way we're going to love what the music is. But when it's too watered down because there's an influence from here. I'm not going to mention names. You know what Nigerian music sounds like these days because it's an adaptation from everywhere. That's why they call it fusion, because you're taking it from here. So people might enjoy, people might not enjoy, but true music, true genres like R&B, they just have to stay true for you to feel that melody. Caesar, for one, I keep mentioning, she's got very good R&B music that you would enjoy 10 years ago, 10 years into today, and 10 years after today. So that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
The question
So
I have here is,
I wanted to say something else quick, Ron. Sorry, I don't mean
sure,
to cut
good.
you.
Yeah, go
But
ahead.
yeah, I hear what you're saying, Fasil. I hear on many different levels, and I agree with some things you're saying. In relation to like the Sade, right? I
Yeah,
feel like Sade is a good artist. When I mentioned that point, I was saying in relation to her being, imagine like she came out right now. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I feel like irregardless, women have to, in order for them to succeed in the music industry, I feel like they have to compromise that side, regardless of the genre nowadays, because that is an expectation built by certain expectations of the music industry that are still male dominated behind the scenes. You know what I mean? So, in relation to like the sound, the music of today is, I find a lot of music I'm hearing from the younger generation in R&B and hip hop. Elements have been taken from the 2000s and 90s, and I have to speak because I grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s. They don't matter how I look, you know what I mean? Like I
Mm-hmm.
was around in that era, as was wrong. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, the sound is so different. Like growing up in that time period, a lot of female artists like the MC Light, like a Queen Latifah, an On Vogue, a Jade, a Tony Braxton. Like these women, they had a look where they had sex appeal, but they weren't having to be overly sexy,
expo.
like today showing off their body. So that's why
Yeah.
their music for us, like when we look at, and the thing is like a lot of my generation, like we still can still listen to like R&B and hip hop of today, but we know the creme de la creme of that era. Like you said, that's the golden era of R&B and hip hop, and it truly was, because people didn't have to, especially women. We were judged based upon our talent. We weren't judged based upon our bodies. And nowadays, it's like, regardless of how talented you are, you have to sacrifice that part of yourself. But it's unfortunate because there are certain artists, certain women that probably don't want to do that. And the world's going to miss out on their voice and their sound and what they're bringing to the forefront. You know what I mean? And certain people are going to get opportunities that maybe, like, not necessarily to say that they shouldn't have those opportunities, but certain people are willing to do certain things to get to certain places in the industry, and that to me is a little bit sad. You know what I mean? So yeah, I do rate artists like a SZA, and I think she's phenomenal. But as I said, like I gravitate towards her more for her sound. But I really would love the industry to kind of go back to that, you know. And it's unfortunate that I feel like a lot of my generation are in the industry right now, and they're not fighting to have the industry get back to how it was. I am starting to see it change a little bit, because it got to a point where I thought that it was very overly sexualized in the music industry, and I felt like it's been brought back a little bit. But at the same time, if it can get back to a point where the music really inspires, uplifts, like that's what hip hop initially was. Initially, hip hop was love, unity, speaking about people's struggles and experiences to highlight that, so help could be given and we could come together. Now it's over sexualized, violence, drugs, guns, like it's crazy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you know what I'm saying? And I'll take away from those artists, like, you know, everyone has their story and they're speaking about their stories. However, why is it that certain artists and certain stories and certain looks are promoted more than others? That's not balance. Yeah.
No. You know, the thing is, I guess the question comes up is, Petra, if somebody said, you know, we want to sign you and we're going to sign you for $1 million contract this year and every year after, but we're going to have to see some more of your body. What are you going to say to that? You know what I mean? Otherwise, you know, you're great. You're writing great songs. You're a fabulous artist. What would you do? That's the dilemma, and that's
Yes,
often the case. It's just
it boils
sad.
down to individual. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
Some will
think
say
if
yes, some will say no. That's literally what it's about. It's the
yeah,
individual.
and
It's
then
the
it's either
thing.
you make it or you don't.
Yeah.
if if Sade was to release music in this generation, if this was to be the very first time she was ever heard, she might have to, you know, show off a bit of her body to be appreciated.
Yeah,
So
it's
I think it's just the mindset, and the mindset isn't necessarily because of what we see on TV. It's today's culture. You know, ladies are not just getting into music and showing off their body. Ladies show off their body every day if you go out. It's normal. It's
Mm,
today's fashion sense.
mm,
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
very
so
true.
it might be a bit odd watching music videos and not seeing a bit of body, knowing that you could walk on Broad Street and see a bit of body even on a corporate girl going to work in the morning. You understand? So I think it's just a general societal influence that we have kind of adapted to. And even if most of us that might have listened to music from the 90s and enjoyed them, even if we want to stick to the fact that, you know, that's the music we love, we know that because of today's influence, these things are expected. So I don't know, for some reason, music might just feel odd if we don't have, you know, those bits and pieces, those elements that complete the whole package. Yeah, that's the word. It's a package, you know. So that has to come to the forefront as well. You know, good music, good sound, good body, and everything. It's a package for the women. Sadly, that's what it is.
Hmm.
It's a
oh,
package.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Do the
wanted to
men
ask,
need to do this?
What
Do the men need to do this?
for the
mm,
men? It's not a package because I don't think sexiness still sells for men, and it's a lot. I think
I as a
if,
woman can have to
even
be
if it's
genuine.
the last guy I
Love.
think selling sexiness
Elvis.
was Trey Songs. You know, Trey
Dexter
Songs.
Daps. I went to a live Dexter Daps concert, you know. Like they were throwing like bras, like all kind of things on stage. Like when the girls came on stage, like security had to like unhook this woman off this man. And when you were
And
like lining up, like women were like touching up his chest and like, oh my gosh, like it was like wild. It's like they're a piece of meat, you know what I mean? Well,
and the thing is, no matter how no matter how a video director wants to um interpret your music with visuals, no matter how creative he wants to be, the music has to connect with the looks. So even if a girl wants to be sexy from heaven to hell, the music has to connect. I mean, if you're so sexy and the music isn't sexy, then I don't know. It just has to connect because if we want to look back to music from the 90s, those girls, the likes of Brandy, Monica, Tony Braxton and the rest, they were sexy without showing so much body. You could see the
Exactly.
black beauty in them.
Hmm.
Even
Hmm.
Yeah.
even even Mariah Carey didn't really show
Yeah,
off body, but I could see so much sexiness.
exactly.
I could see so many hip hop artists, rappers all around her because she was sexy. The music was sexy. It was like there was a fit, But these days, that really isn't a fit because there are genres of music that are not sexy. So you come out with visuals looking all sexy on genres of music that I have to nod my head so fast to that I don't even have the time to appreciate your sexiness. So I'm just saying there has to be a fit at the end of the day, like a fix. It should kind of fit together. Everything should merge, and like I said, a complete package. When you watch or see this person, there's that totality. It's not just that they're tapping influences from here and there. I need to look this way. My music needs to sound this other way. So I think there's very few female artists that have the complete package, to be honest, because there are certain songs that you hear that sound very modest. You don't have to look sexy if you're to release visuals for such songs because the songs sound modern. But you're telling a story that's not sexy. So why are you showing sexiness? Let's be honest. So it might
Hmm.
just
I
be
think that's the industry too, right? The industry. That's the argument that we're saying. Like, even though with the Grammys now, there's all these different female artists that are pushed to the forefront, behind the scene it's still very male dominated. So is that representation? Is great that these women are being pushed to the forefront, but does it signify real change in the industry, or is it for show? Like, what is it really signifying? Because if women are still having to show off their bodies, you know what I mean, in order for that to be a part of the package for them to reach the pinnacle, like, who can you name that's at the top right now that doesn't have that sex appeal? You know what I mean? Like, they all have that sex appeal. So, and you have to understand, Fisher, you made a good point. Like, I grew up watching the Mariah Carey. I saw Mariah Carey in the 90s, and then I seen the shift in the early 2000s. Something happened in the 2000s where that sex appeal was like pushed forth in the industry, and we watched it get worse. That's the
yeah.
thing. So
Yeah. You can go watch her video for
you kind of were raised like you're in that, you're like a millennial, right? So it's like you're in that generation. You kind of grew up seeing that, thinking it's the norm, but didn't mean to cut you on. But we grew up when that we were around R&B and hip hop when that was not the norm. You know what I mean? So we're the ones who are trying to get it back to the golden
Yeah.
age, as you said, because you identified that was a golden era of R&B and hip hop.
Well, what all you have to do with Mariah for Miley Cyrus is go and watch Jolene, the video she put out for Jolene, which is her great. It's her godmother, but it's not her real mother. It's her godmother.
Mhm.
Her grand
Okay.
godmother is Dolly Parton. But if you
Okay.
watch Jolene the way Miley Cyrus performs it, go watch the video and then go watch Flowers. What a night and day difference.
Wow.
Holy
Mm.
smokes. What a
Mhm.
difference. She's
Wow.
very conservative in her Jolene outfit. I'll call it a Jolene outfit. But then you look at Flowers and it's night and day. Miley's showing everything except whatever her bikini can show, not show. And
See,
it's see where we're going. That seems
that's
to
what I'm
be what
saying.
this, yeah, the
It's
standard
not just,
seems to be
yeah.
that because I remember learning that Jolene song that Miley Cyrus did, just that version of it, and I just okay, it's a video. She's on there with 4 or 5 people, other musicians. So I think she's just looking like a regular person. I'll say whatever
So
regular means.
so I
So
guess I guess until we have a female artist that could match up with the men, being that since the men don't use sexiness to appeal to the general masses, so we have a female artist that doesn't need sexiness to appeal, to the world, then that's when we can say women are really being pushed to the forefront as an authentic, and it's authentic. It's not that without that addition to the package they wouldn't be appreciated, because to be honest I think they are being appreciated because that's part of the package. I think without that package we might not even love their music that much, because yeah, most of them have good music, but I don't know, not all of them.
Um, I don't know about
Without that element without that
yeah, but
element without
to
that
be
element I
honest.
would say without that no without
yeah,
that element I would say people, because majority of their fans might be people that love that element, not the
There's
music.
many. I don't know. There's artists right now. There's artists obviously that maybe you guys don't know, but there's
Okay.
many artists out there that you don't
Have
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 that don't
have they
push
been
their.
recognized,
But that's
globally?
the thing. That's what I was just gonna
Okay,
say. That's the
okay,
thing, right? What I was
okay,
gonna say to you, recognized by who? Who is the one that's calling the
okay.
shots? At the end of the day, I feel the only way it's gonna change for female artists to not have to show their skin is when there's more women behind the scenes
I
who are
appreciate that.
helping make decisions because it's still male dominated back there. Men who are
Oh,
making
oh,
decisions back
oh.
there are still saying, "Oh,
Okay.
women, you have to still show your skin." That's the thing. So if there's more women
Yeah.
in the foreground, so in the background, helping to make decisions, then less women are gonna have to show their skin because you have to understand the most people, the people that buy more music are women.
Yeah,
Women buy more music than men. So is it
and
that
put
more
men
women
on.
want to see more
Yeah.
women exposed? No, it's because the people who are running the music industry are male
Oh,
dominated. They say, okay, you know
true.
what? We want these women to show their skin because that's what we want. So then again, is it necessarily the market dominating it, or is it the culture
Okay,
pushing it on the
okay.
market? You know what I
Makes
mean?
sense. Makes
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. So the problem is from the top. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree, Petra.
yeah,
You are absolutely right. But I will
yeah.
say, with
True.
Miley Cyrus's song "Flowers," I knew that was going to be a hit before I even watched the video. I
Yeah,
listened to it and I
yeah,
went, "Great song.
yeah.
This is
Great
great.
song.
You've done a super job. The vocals are really good. The group is really
So
good. Whoever you
Ron,
hired,
were
and
you were
the
you
writers
were
are
you were
great."
you impressed with the video, Ron? Were you impressed with the video?
I don't. The video to me is just sort of whatever. I don't care. The video didn't sell me any more or less on the song.
Okay,
I just went. This is a good song, and I don't
okay,
care what she does in the video. When I saw the video, I was kind of going, okay, this is a long ways from what you used to do, like when you were doing Jolene. I thought,
okay.
man, why are you finding that necessary? Because this is such a great song without
Yeah,
the
yeah,
video.
But is she like
yeah,
that? What's the purpose? That's the thing. I don't mean to cut you, but that's the thing that I question, right? So you heard the song, you were wild by the song. The video
Yeah.
didn't more or less make you like the song more. Because I remember sometimes hearing a song, but
Mm-hmm.
then when I'd watch the video and I'd fall in love with the song even more. But you're saying
yeah,
like the
yeah.
video didn't make you love the song more or less. So the question is, what was the
No.
purpose of having the artist be dressed that way? What is the purpose? Is it
Yeah.
to humiliate the
Yes.
artist? Is
It's
it to push?
it's
Why have the artist be like that in the video if it's not going to add or take? It might even take away from the song. But what was the purpose? That's why I question. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
think
agree.
it's an expectation from the people running the industry.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that it's an expectation from the people running the industry. I think if it doesn't look that way, it wouldn't pass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wouldn't pass because there's still lots of people that gravitate more towards visuals than audio. So just like I said, I do more of audio. There are people that do more of visuals. That the very first time they really want to, sit down to enjoy your music, it's via a video. So at that point, they're enjoying the full package. But for most of us, it's just the audio. So I think it's an expectation from people running the industry. And maybe those expectations are what gets you to be nominated, for certain awards and all that. Yeah, I think because it's an all round thing. I think the nominations also tag into what your visuals are like, not just the song.
Well, I have a
Yeah,
little
That's a
thing
good
here
point too.
to
yeah.
add to this, though. It's an interesting thought here. Billie Eilish has been nominated for numerous categories. I knew she would with her latest stuff, which is really well written song. She does it with I'm sure it's her brother. But you got to admit, to me, Billie Eilish is not I'll say a Miley Cyrus for looks.
It's not
Billie
sexy.
Eilish, exactly, not to that degree. And who
I'll help you
cares?
say it.
Yeah, I
She's
just
not
think
sexy.
that. Okay, you can say but
Still,
I'm just
she
my
may be
I can
point.
sexy
say
My
it.
to some people,
yeah, exactly, maybe too. But I just think that she doesn't. It's her songs. It's her writing. She does. She write.
Mm.
The two of them write so well together. And to me, does that matter? No, I don't care what she looks like. Would I go and
Yeah,
see her perform on stage? Absolutely. If and would she have to be like Taylor Swift and go in a bikini every time? No,
yeah.
I don't care about that.
It's
What I
like
care about
it's like
is, are you going to perform well, and let's hear your songs.
yeah. It's like
Mhm.
it's like falling in love with someone for their personality, not their looks. That's
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's what true
That
music is.
Yes, that's
And
it.
True music is.
and let's put it this way: as we get older, we're not going to get any more attractive. So
You
guess
know,
what? Better stick through your
uh,
personality, or in this case, your great music. That's the
Speak for
only thing
yourself,
that's going to
Ronald.
work.
Speak for yourself,
yeah,
Ronald. A fine wine,
like
honey, like a fine wine.
like
I can
we had
say
this
this as an old man.
we had this Nigerian artist, but I think he was overseas. I don't know. Seal, was that his name? Seal. He
Yeah,
had
Oh, yeah,
I think
seal,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
he
Seal.
had
yeah.
burns and stuff on his face, but he had great music, and
Kiss is
when
a
you see
great
that
song
face,
by
you
him.
Sure.
appreciate him the more.
Yeah.
You're
Exactly.
blind to those scars immediately you see his face because
Hmm.
you love the
Yeah.
music already. So that's
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah. There's another
But
lady,
that
I
Absolutely.
can't
that
remember her name. Oh, from
that might not
England, an
work for a
older
woman
lady.
though. I don't know.
Yeah, but Seal's a good example. Yeah, for
Yeah,
a male that his face was ripped out. Who
but
cares?
that
I
that
love
might
his
not work.
singing.
That might not work for a woman because I think they get more attacks. When it comes to looks and all. It's
Hmm.
social media is crazy and all that. So
Susan
I wouldn't
Boyle.
blame them. I wouldn't
I
blame
mean,
them for
Is that
trying to.
Susan Boyle? What about her?
you know
What's that?
Susan Boyle, right?
Hmm.
No, the artist you were trying to remember.
She was an older lady that won American, is it a British
Oh
Idol? Was it?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, the
the
one in the
British.
British Awards, the
Yeah,
singer.
and she became a
She
huge
was.
star. She wasn't sexy, but she became a huge phenomenon on her
She
Her
wasn't
voice.
young, right?
singing.
No,
She
Oh,
she's
her
wasn't
an
young.
voice
old,
was
like
in.
an elderly Susan Boyle when she sings. So that to me was a representation of a woman not having to be quote
Yeah.
unquote sexy, but becoming a
Mm.
huge star. And to me, like that's why the nation and the world fell in love with this lady because her
Yeah.
voice. You
Well, look
doesn't
at what
matter how.
Simon's reaction was
No.
when she walked on stage.
Oh, when
His reaction was like it was almost like rolling his eyes, almost like
I'm telling
what's this?
you,
And
you
I'm
have to
like,
see that for
but
seal.
I know, yeah, you do. Look up Susan Boyle,
When
and it
she
I'll check
was
opened
it out.
her mouth, everybody was like
Wow.
whoa.
instant
I
So
stars.
know.
that's
I
it.
remember that one. That was so good. That was a few years ago now, but
Yeah,
yeah, what a singer.
So
yeah.
Pardon,
So
man.
her case was visuals before sound. People weren't impressed with the looks, but the sound they got impressed.
because
That was her
that's
case. Yeah.
because that's music at the end of the day.
That was-
No matter what all of it is packaged like,
yeah.
if it does it, the sound will always resonate. It can
Yeah.
come in a
Because
brown paper bag, but trust me, when you open that bag, it resonates like a
yeah.
star shining bright.
True.
People
True.
connect to that. That's all
However,
that matters. And I feel like that's what more of the industry needs on a whole. We need more people falling in love with genuinely the sound of music, what it does to people, and less
Well,
about how it's looked and it's packaged. You know what I mean?
I don't, I don't,
absolutely.
I
That's
don't see that changing anytime soon in Nigeria.
I
I don't see it
I
changing.
I believe it's going to change. Look at the Grammys. We
I
have more
believe.
women in the Grammys. So
I'd
what does it
love to
signify to
believe,
you?
but the world is going
look who's
crazy.
#1 album for a Record of the Year nominated. The Beatles.
Yeah. You see, so
What does that say right there? I mean, you don't even have to be alive to be nominated.
True.
The Beatles,
I
it's
think
Record
Bob
of the
got a
Year.
nomination too. Actually, you know.
Who did? Who did?
I think Bob Marley got a nomination too. So we can
Yeah,
even
you were
like
saying that
actually run
too.
through real
Wow.
quickly some of the
Wow.
artists that were nominated
Yeah.
in the
Now and then, the
Best African
Beatles.
Wow.
Music Performance. I know. Do you guys want to go through some of them?
Yeah.
Well,
Let's do that.
can we talk about the one I think Petra, you and I agree on is that Beyonce's Texas Hold On. It's not the album we voted.
And,
Why do you
and
say Yonsei? Why Yonsei?
Beyonce. It's because she's doing country music, and to
What
me,
happened to the B? What happened to the
yeah,
B? Why Yonsei?
no,
Where's the
no, I
B?
said it was Beyonce with a B.
so I
But
wanted to
it's
say, could we only have like maybe a minute left of the show? I wanted to go through like reading down some of the list of some of the artists that
mhm.
Okay.
in some categories. So like
Yeah.
I
All right.
know, especially because on our show we focus mainly on like Afrobeat and reggae. So I know do you have the list for Seal of the best
No,
African music performances?
I do.
I don't have that.
Okay, do you want to read them, Ron?
Well, which category do you want to look at?
Afrobeat.
I was just gonna read off the list of who was nominated.
Well, I would say what's going for. Let's see. I'm going down the list here. Going rocks, and then I see there's so many categories.
Well, okay, I
Let's
have it real
see.
quick. We only have a minute
Oh,
left.
sure. Yeah, go
And
for it.
then you can find the reggae category. So no, for best African music performance, we have Tomorrow by Yemi Alade, and we have
Hmm.
MMS by Asaki and Wizkid. Then we also have Sensational. That's my jam. I've been pumping that. I can't lie. So
Yeah,
Sensational,
Yeah.
featuring Davido and
Chris Brown and
Loj.
David.
And then Higher, yeah, Burna Boy. And then also
Burna
my
Boy.
girl, I have to big up the only girl on the category, Love Me JJ by Thames. So even though
Okay.
Sensational was bumping it for the year, I have to support my girl Thames. Like she deserves to have she deserves to win, honestly. She's been she's been definitely holding it down for the women for so many years. And honestly, like,
Yeah,
the bit of controversy, like, I big up Tyler, I love her music, and I'm happy she got her recognition. But yeah,
Yeah.
Thames, she deserves her recognition as well. So I really hope Thames she gets that win. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Hmm.
When it comes to just going through, man, this is such a long list. For reggae, I'm just looking. I'm trying to get to best. I'm looking through this and best film, jazz, or jazz. Oh, I love jazz albums. We got at least six categories. Best global performance. I'm wondering how global performance. I guess that varies in some way from this. Oh, there's best African performance, like you mentioned already. Best reggae album. Cully Butts. These people I don't even know.
Oh,
You,
I
you,
Carly Butts. I gotta pick up my boy Carly Butts.
I'm a
You know what I
okay.
sister.
mean?
Yeah. Bob Marley, as you mentioned, is on there again. The Wailers, like you mentioned earlier, two off in the green room. And so there's only five. I don't know, Shensia. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Shensia.
Shancy,
Yeah.
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 Bless,
Yeah.
bless, 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 bless.
And
Yes, I'm blessed.
is it
Love
Vibes?
Big Family,
Vibes
y'all are the
Card?
best.
And what's Vibes Cartel? Do you know that?
Vibes Cartel.
See, Ron, maybe you should have run the you should have read the African music performance category because
Run,
some of these
run,
artists you
run,
gotta know.
run, run
Vibes
doesn't know
Cartel is the
these
king
guys.
of dancehall. In it for
These guys are
CL.
Well,
legends.
oh,
Legendary. You got some
oh,
homework to
but
do, Ron. You gotta go listen to some
oh,
Vibes Cartel.
well, talk to me about the jazz albums, and I'll have no problems.
Ah,
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta push yourself. Honestly, I know we're coming towards the end of the show. I do definitely want to shout out. There are people listening in all over the world, so I just want to say big up to the Love Bay family. I want to shout out to Anna listening in from Lisbon. So shout out to Lisbon. I also want to shout out Nairobi. Nairobi's loving the conversation. Thank you, Nairobi. I also want to shout out Betty from Toronto. Big up the six. Big up the Love Bay family all over the world listening in to Highway 6 to Africa. You know what I mean? We didn't have any
Yeah,
guests
yeah,
today, but lots of great conversations. Right, Facile? Right, Ron?
yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. All the best to people. And if you're from the United States, hope you're having a great Thanksgiving, as we talked about earlier. I hope that's going well for you and you're enjoying your time away or off and with the family, because I know it's a big time for the family. And if we don't see you before Christmas, and I'm sure we will, people, if you listen to us regularly, I hope you all have a great Christmas too.
Yeah, shout out to every Nigerian out there. Christmas in the beats. Show love. Live
Mhm.
life. Thank God.
Most definitely. Wonderful,
All right.
wise words there. So, yes, it's been a really great show. We missed TYB. We can't wait to see him back next week. So lots
Mhm.
of love and prayers going out to him and his family right now. Definitely want to shout out Jan, our producer, the entire Love Bay family. It's been a really, really great show. We touched on a whole bunch of different points and topics, so
Yeah.
we're definitely going to be doing an update show. And we definitely want to bring you back for Seal when they announce the winner,
Sure.
so we can actually
I'll
touch
be
base and
glad.
talk
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
it. Most
Yeah.
All
definitely.
righty. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, wishing everybody a fantastic Thanksgiving in the US. Sending you guys lots of love, lots of joy, lots of blessing, lots of peace, and big up yourself this wonderful Saturday. So yeah, you don't know. Yeah, yeah.
Hey,